Hi lovelies, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a beautiful week. So this video, I thought I would use it as an opportunity to film an end of year reset and reflect with me and just help you to plan for a beautiful new 2022. So I've got a few different prompts that I've written down here and I'm going to go through them one by one with you and we can answer them together. I've gone really old school. I've actually written down my notes for this video on a notepad instead of my computer. But yeah, I was just in the zone the other evening and I thought this could be a really nice video to film for you all, so I hope you like it. And if you do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, a big like to let me know, and of course subscribe to my channel. And you can follow me on Instagram at Study with Jess. I am very active on my account over there. I was gonna say on my channel. On my Insta account over there, I post stories and reels and all that sort of stuff most days. So if one video a week isn't enough for you and you just wanna have a Jess fix, then head over to Instagram and follow me there. But essentially, these questions that we're gonna be going through, they're gonna help you reflect on the year that has been, unwind, make sure that you are tying up any loose ends, and then intentionally planning for a new year and making sure that you're entering it really mindfully and just feeling really good about what you want to get out of that year. So let's get straight to it. So the first tip I have for you, and this is the first dot point I wrote down that I wanted to talk about, is to create an I did it list. So think about all of the things that you did, that you achieved, that you accomplished throughout 2021, and I want you to make a list. I have done this, and I do it more than just at the end of every year. I actually do it whenever I feel like I need to reflect and take stock on all the stuff that I've been doing, if it's been like quite a busy period, whether it's work or personal. So create an I did it list, because I think it's important to really recognize all that you have done this year, all that you've asked of yourself, of your body, of your mind. And if you're feeling quite tired or burnt out, it's just another way to remind you of all of the things that you've already done. And it's just going to help you understand why you might be feeling the way that you're feeling, but also a really good opportunity to celebrate everything that you have done. So these can be really small things, they can be big things. Some of the things on my I did it list: Adam and I bought a house, we renovated this place, I did up the backyard and renovated the shed. There's a lot of different projects that I've been working on this year. I started working on my second book, filmed a series that I'm really excited to be releasing next year in partnership with a pretty cool organization. More on that later. There's a lot of things that I've done and that I've gone through. I've experienced a couple of very extended lockdowns and even grief, but I think that in writing everything down and being mindful of all that I've asked of myself throughout this year, it helps me to then be a lot more kinder and self-compassionate. So that's why I invite you now to create an I did it list of your own, and you might want to display it somewhere that you can see it more regularly, or just at the back or the front of your diary or journal. The next thing that I invite you to do, this is also sort of like another prompt, it is to create an unfinished business list. There's a lot of things that I'm sure we would love to get done before the new year, but it may not be feasible. It might actually be asking too much of yourself to do too many things. So make a list of everything that you still want to complete. It's sort of like tying up loose ends, but then get really clear on your top priorities. And if you can even choose just one top priority, I invite you to do that. For me, I had an incredibly busy October and November, September, October, November actually, with work. And so for me, my unfinished business list was still quite an extended list come December, but I was able to be really mindful of what actually has to get done. And for me, my top priority was actually to film a couple of videos for my channel and have a few days in December designated for writing and working on my second book. And that was it. There are probably 10 other things I could have added to that list, but it's about what actually has to get done as opposed to what you would love to get done, because you don't want to be entering the new year feeling really burnt out. So get clear on your top priority and create an unfinished business list. The next thing I invite you to do is to take some time and think about how are you going to celebrate everything that you have achieved, survived, accomplished in 2021. And there's probably gonna be a lot, and it may not be work related, it could also be personal. Honestly, just the fact that we've been able to get through this pandemic is a big one. So this is also inspired by my life coach, Josh. He's always saying to me, he's always like hassling me, like, how are you gonna celebrate your achievements? Stop just going from one goal to the next and hopping, and actually savor what you've done and what you've been through and reward yourself or treat yourself. So let's celebrate no matter how great or seemingly small our achievements were, and really honor ourselves for getting through this year. So I would actually love, because this is an area that I find particularly challenging. It doesn't come natural to me. As I've mentioned, I kind of need my coach to drill this into me. But comment below. I would so appreciate if you want to get involved and open the discussion in the comments. How are you going to celebrate just wrapping up 2021 and everything that came with it, and all the challenges that we experienced, the highs, the lows, the achievements, the strength that we had to find, the resilience that we displayed. A couple of ideas that come to mind could be like going out for a really nice dinner with your partner or your family or your friends, maybe getting a massage, spending some time at the day spa, taking a little getaway or doing a nice day trip, or buying something nice for yourself if you've been saving up for something that you've had your eye on. But yeah, please comment below if you are going to reward yourself and celebrate and wrap up this year by doing something really nice for yourself. What would that look like for you? I would love to get some inspo, so leave them in the comments. And then adding on from celebrating and spoiling yourself or rewarding yourself, which actually I'm not even gonna say spoiling or rewarding, I'm gonna say taking care of yourself. I wanted to spend a little bit of time this part of the video doing what I like to call a body check-in. So being the end of the year, I feel like we get so caught up in everything that's happening around us. If anything, we don't really wind down as we get towards the end of the year. It's almost like we get really wound up and we still are quite frantic, and we're like buying presents for people, we're finishing work tasks, we're trying to catch up with friends and family and colleagues, and it gets quite hectic. So I want you to do a body check-in and just notice, how do you feel in your body? Like, how do you feel in your chest or your limbs, or honestly, even doing a body scan from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. For me, personally, I've been feeling a little bit heavy and a little bit tired, and I'm being really mindful to pace myself. So if you can actually tune into your body, then it's going to allow you to basically, you're allowing your body to inform how you go about the remainder of this year and how you enter a new year as well. Maybe you need to be slowing down, maybe you need to be nurturing yourself a little bit more, and then thinking about what that might look like for you. So for me, like I said, it's about getting clear on my top priority, focusing on only that, winding down, creating more space in my schedule, just enjoying more time for me, getting out in nature, having a couple of massages this month, just like little things like that that can re-energize me. So I think that doing a body check-in is something really important at this time of year, so that we can just stop and take a moment, gather ourselves, and then move more mindfully throughout the coming weeks. This next little prompt is something that I actually do as part of my weekly reset routine, which I filmed quite a few months back. If I remember to link it as a little clickable card up above, like here or here, I will. But otherwise you can check my homepage of my channel for the weekly reset video I filmed. But one thing that I like to do is also ask myself, what do I want to focus more on, and what do I want to focus less on? So if we take some time, like we're doing in this video right now, and write down, how did we spend a lot of our time or energy throughout the year? And if we're really tuning into what's most important to us, and we're aware of things like our core values and what's really meaningful and what fulfills us in our life, in our day-to-day lives, then that's going to help to inform you around what do you want to focus more on and less on going forward. And especially as we go into a new year, because I feel like maybe a new year doesn't give you a completely clean slate, but it does feel like this fresh opportunity to start anew. So think about, what sort of things did you do a little bit too much of? Maybe it was too much work or too much socializing, or not enough socializing or not enough work. I don't know, there's a lot of different things that might come to your mind. and then think what would actually make you feel better if you were to do more of that. It could be around self-care, it could be around socializing and connecting with loved ones if you didn't have much opportunity this year. For me, my state was in a couple of extended lockdowns, so connecting with my loved ones next year and making sure that my relationships are a top priority is really important to me. But also a lot more integrating rest and nurturing into my days and weeks, because again, this year has been really tough. It's taken a toll. So I encourage you to spend some time and write down those two things and just get an understanding of where you want to focus more of your attention and energy in the coming weeks and months. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on as part of our end of year reset and reflection and planning for a new year is to write down some valuable lessons that we've learned this year that we can take into the new year with us. So I wanted to share just a couple that came to my mind, and I feel like a lot more are going to come to mind over the next little while, especially if I spend some more time and sit down and reflect even longer. But for me, a few that popped into my mind was just the importance of really going with my intuition more. I think that I'm really trying to practice that. Also being aware that I'm a lot more resilient than I thought. And if I think back a year ago to how I handled things initially and then how I got through them, I definitely think resiliency is a big theme for me. Also the importance of more rest and compassion. I think I did get a little bit caught up in the rat race at times in 2021, and I really want to be more mindful of really just embodying more of like a slow and steady wins the race sort of mentality, rather than just going at things full steam ahead and then not giving myself enough time to perhaps recharge and re-energize afterwards. And one lesson that I most recently learned, actually, and this was a conversation I had with someone only a couple of weeks ago, was just this idea of when I do take on different projects in my work life, so this is more in my career, a lesson that I can take into the new year, I would say yes to opportunities only based on one factor, which is how much time do I think they're going to take. But one thing that I would always forget is how much effort or energy does it also require. So I was saying yes to a lot of projects thinking I've got enough time to do them, but then when it came around, I really struggled mentally because energetically or mentally, I was quite drained. So it's important to be mindful for me about saying yes to opportunities that, you know, if it's not necessarily going to take a lot of time, but it is going to take a lot of energy or mental effort, that the next project to follow might be lower on that effort scale. So if I'm going to do a really big project like writing a book, I would say that's probably like a 10 out of 10 on the scale of effort and also time. But, you know, letting that inform the other opportunities that I say yes to, and making sure that there's more of a balance between the work that I'm doing that requires a lot of effort and then maybe integrating or sprinkling other jobs throughout the year that don't require as much effort, just so that I'm not going to get burnt out, because time is not the only factor that we have to consider when we're trying to prevent burnout. It's also about how much energy we're investing into something too. So comment below if you want to share any of your life lessons from 2021. If you want to share how you are celebrating and wrapping up this year, I'd love to read them, and I'd just love to get some inspiration as well. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And like I said, go check out my channel, my account. I keep saying channel. Go check out my account on Instagram at Study with Jess. You can follow me there for more tips and tricks around productivity, work-life balance, all this fun stuff, stories, reels, behind the scenes. I post quite regularly there, and I will see you in the new year. So happy new year, happy holidays, be well, be safe, be happy, and yeah, we'll chat soon. Mwah! Bye.